Hi everyone. Sunset's here from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. We're just outside Gatlinburg at a friend of a friend's cabin. They were kind enough to put us up, our friends were, and we've been staying in this cabin for this is our second night. So we zeroed today. And we're having a great time. So we're going to talk about week 4, which is the week we just completed yesterday. It covers April 12th through the 18th. And during that time period, we walked from Lotus Grove tent site to Newfound Gap. And we spent the day hanging out in Gatlinburg, walking up and down the main street. Chica's putting together a video for yesterday, which was a Nero. We only did 4 miles. And then today, which was just a kind of a rest day. But I wanted to talk about our mileage, milestones, and money. So let's get to it. Walking into Newfound Gap yesterday, we hit mile 207. So we've completed 200 miles. The second 100 miles seemed to go much faster and with much less problems than the first 100 miles. So I think we're kind of getting used to the rhythm of the trail, which is pretty cool. All right, so this week, for the 7 days, April 12th through the 18th, we spent a total of $294, and that was $89 worth of accommodations in Fontana. We stayed at the lodge there, which was a beautiful place. Resupply was $73 total. Eating out was $132. So the $73 resupply is actually a little bit less than that. We had some expenses that we're staying here in a cabin, so we bought like a frozen pizza, 6-pack of beer, things like that to have so that we weren't eating out every single meal. So I included that in resupply, even though it probably would have been better to itemize that separately, but I'm trying to just keep 3 or 4 buckets: accommodation, resupply, dine out, and the 4th bucket of other. So I guess I could have put that in other, but accounting is not my strong suit. Dining out was eating out in Fontana and then eating out once here. We paid for a meal for our friends. And so $294 for the week. So that equals $21 per day per person. And if you want to break it down by the miles, it is $2.47 per mile per person. Okay, so for the 4 weeks that we've been on trail, we've spent a total of $1,404, which equals $3.39 per mile per person. I really expect the dollars per mile to go down a bit, especially as we start putting in more mileage. It went down, 50 cents per mile from last week, just because we walked 59.5 miles this week, which was our highest week. That's going to continue to climb that mileage per week as we get into kind of Virginia and the easier states, and get our trail legs. So 59.5 miles is what we did this week. I wanted to cover 2 things. Well, first off, let's go over milestones. We hit the 200 mile mark. We got more than 3/4 of the way through the Smokies. We just have 2 days left. And we saw Clingman's Dome, which was the highest mountain that we'll climb on this trip. So that's pretty cool. Gear. Let's talk about gear real quick. There's 2 pieces that failed for us just this week, so I wanted to discuss it. First off, are my Zero, that's Xero, Zero shoes. I thought these were going to be the camp shoe of all camp shoes. I bought them when we were living in Costa Rica. Probably hiked maybe 500 miles on them. Then I brought them with me. They don't perform well when wet. They tend to slide around on my foot. I didn't like that, but I thought, hey, that'd be great for a camp shoe. So I brought them along. They're kind of heavy. They're, I don't know, a little over a pound. And number one, I haven't really cared for them. They're very difficult to get on. You slip your foot in, and then you gotta jostle it, and then you have to strap it. Well, the other day I was walking. This was 2 days ago. Walking down to a water source, and it was a pretty steep incline. But I guess my weight went so much on this strap that it snapped in half. And so it makes these useless. So I contacted Zero Shoes, said, hey guys, I know they have this 5,000 mile warranty, which is kind of absurd after I read the fine print, because it says we'll defray some of the cost if you wear down your shoe before 5,000 miles. They give you a 60% discount. You still have to send your shoes, your broken shoe, or your shoes that show that they were ruined, the bottom was ruined before 5,000 miles. You have to pay that shipping cost to them. Then you have to buy another pair, pay 40% plus the shipping back to you. So it's really, to me, not really a discount. It's very disappointing to me to have paid almost $90 for a pair of shoes that underperformed the way these did. I was very excited to get them and thought they would be the perfect answer. They were not. However, I will let you know how customer service handles the claim. I just said, hey guys, I'm disappointed in the way these worked. What can you do for me? I'm out hiking on the Appalachian Trail. I am not using these as hiking shoes, simply as wearing in camp. Barely putting any miles on them, and they broke. And we'll see how they respond. Regardless, we went to the dollar store today, Dollar Tree, which really isn't everything's a dollar store. It's a dollar and up store, and bought these $6. And once again, I hate things between my toes, so these little slip-ons are perfect for being able to get out of my tent, slide them right on, which the Zeros I wasn't. It took me 5 minutes to put the shoes on. So these will be something nice to have. The second thing that failed was the Black Diamond Revolt. This one's mine. Chica, and mine's working just fine, but Chica's is not working. So the Revolt, if you listen to the name, it's Revolt. It's a rechargeable headlamp. So the idea is you don't have to carry batteries around. Well, we've recharged Chica's twice now, and now we're getting the blinking red light, which means dead cell, and might as well put real batteries in instead of paying the cost of getting rechargeable batteries, because they don't seem to last. At least the ones that came with it did not last. So as a headlamp, it works fine. As a rechargeable headlamp and as a solution to not have to buy batteries, we're 50-50, I guess, but we're only a month into our hike, and I don't have a whole lot of hope for mine now. And if that lamp would have failed while we needed it, say night hiking or something like that, we would have been screwed. And that's not cool, because we weren't carrying batteries as a backup, because why? You can recharge it, right? Okay. So those are the two pieces of gear I wanted to talk about. Let's get to your questions. Barb asks, she saw that we changed our pillows from the Z-Pack clothes sack to Big Sky Dream Sleepers, and that is correct. We did change, and the reason we changed was if you've ever used your clothes as a pillow, that'll answer your question. It's hard as a rock. It's just not very comfortable. So right before we left, maybe 2 weeks before we left, we got a hold of these Big Sky pillows. Big Sky, what is it? Dream Sleeper. You can just Google that. And they weigh an ounce, and they're very comfortable. It's a nice pillow. I put my bandana over it and sleep on it. It's pretty comfortable as far as sleeping tinting pillows go. Barb also asks, and Lost Again asks about our tent. Is the big tent worth it? Worth the wait? Without hesitation, I say yes. And let's talk about the weight, because 4 pounds. I've met people out here in one-person tents that weigh 4 pounds. Our tent at 4 pounds with a 8-ounce ground cover, 4.5 pounds, is not super heavy. And yes, it is well worth it. I'm 6'3". And I need space to sleep, and having a 3-person tent allows us to sleep when we want to with our backpacks in the tent, and it gives us space between each other and the vestibules, or in our doors. So if you looked at the tent setup or our camp setup and camp duties, we have our clothes things laid out. We have our sleeping pad, our sleeping bag, and we have our backpacks at our feet. There's plenty of room for all that. Just as important, I can sit up fully in the middle of it and still have a foot of headroom. The dome shape is really excellent. We have found that it is very strong in the wind. It is rain resistant. We have not yet been in a rain that allowed a situation that the tent allowed rain in, and we've been through some pretty difficult or strong rain. So yes, we're very happy with it, and I don't think we would change a thing. There's nothing we really dislike about it. It has two entrances, 2 vestibules, so we have our own little areas. There's another question. Jen will come on in just a second. Someone's asking her about her smart wool bra. I don't have direct knowledge of that, so she'll come and also ask. Someone has asked about what she found deficient in her PACA, which was her all-in-one rain system, and why she sent that home and bought a separate pack cover and rain jacket. She'll discuss that here in a few minutes. Lost Again asks, where are we from Dallas? We lived in the White Rock Lake area, just down the street from the Dallas Arboretum, and it's a beautiful area, and we lived there. We had that house for about 5 years. Before that, we had built a house in DeSoto, which is south of Dallas, and before that, we were living in apartments around Dallas. Lots of people are asking us about weight loss. I can't speak for Chica. In Franklin, our friends had a scale, and we both weighed ourselves. Chica was down 7 pounds, something like that. I was down 15 pounds. That was I think that was our 3rd week, maybe our 2nd week, probably 2nd week. We both feel that our bodies are changing, and I would guess, if I had to guess, I would say I'm down at least 20 pounds. I can't speak for Chica, but I can see her shape changing. So the trail is changing us. Someone said you don't have that emaciated, solid look that some hikers get, and hopefully we never will. As you can see from our budget, we've been eating healthily. Maybe not healthy is the right word. Eating a lot when we get into trail towns, and so that hopefully adds some of the calories back that we're not getting on the trail. Let's see, what else? Okay, I'm going to go round up Chica. There's a couple other questions that she wants to be involved with. Terry asks about what are the highs and lows of the trail that we've experienced, as well as what is the biggest surprise of through hiking that we've found. So I'll be right back and we will talk about that. Okay, so we are back. And here's Chica. So, Chica, one of our viewers wants to know about your smart wool bra, whether you like it and whether you have more than one.
I have only one Smartwell bra, and I love it. I wear it every day. I usually take it off at night and just kind of air it out, and then it's good to go the next day. It's very comfortable. It's not like totally supportive for super duper cardio activities, but for hiking, it's perfect for me, and I'm pretty, well, kind of large chested. So it's very comfortable. It does its job, and the Smart Wool is great for breathing and keeping me cool when it's hot, and airing out, drying overnight. It's very comfortable. Sometimes I even sleep in it, so it's really comfortable.
Okay, great. Another viewer wanted to know what you found deficient in your paca. Why you sent the paca packing?
The paca, the main thing I found wrong with the paca that bothered me was if I wanted to protect myself and my pack while not wearing the pack. So my main example was if we had to take down the tent in the rain or put up the tent in the rain, I didn't want to wear my backpack the whole time while doing it because it's a heavy backpack. So I couldn't put my backpack down outside and have it protected and have me protected from the rain at the same time. So one of us was going to get wet. So that was the main thing.
Also, the one time you wore it in heavy rain, the wind was blowing pretty bad, and it really billowed up around you.
It's not a great fit. It fits my pack very tightly. It's almost like a little bit small for my pack. And then the part that comes around me, my body, is really huge. So like the wind would get underneath it and blow it up. And I mean, I don't care how I look, but it was just really uncomfortable when it was pouring and rainy and windy out to do that billowing up thing while I was hiking. So yeah, it was a little annoying.
I started out. I ordered a packet as well on our trip to Devil's Lake when we were kind of doing our shakedown hike over 3 days. I determined the packet was not right for me for many of the same reasons. The concept is great. You have this backpack cover that you don't have to be wearing a jacket to have your backpack protected. And when you want the jacket, you just kind of reach back and do a little magic, and poof, you have a jacket on. That intrigued me, but when I put it into practice, it didn't work out as well. And I think out here, I would have sent it packing as well. So that's the lowdown on the paca. It's well made. The owner is super to work with. It just didn't work. It wasn't a solution that we wanted to keep.
Yep. So now we both have separate pack covers and separate rain jackets. So it's working well so far.
Yeah.
We're supposed to have more rain tomorrow, so we will find out.
We will find out tomorrow because I think we're in for a wet week. Apparently here, our last couple days in the Smokies. Yeah.
Also, I have an umbrella that I'm still not sure if I want to send it home or not. It's a really good hiking umbrella sold by Z-Packs called the Schwing umbrella or something like that. It's ultralight. And it's really great with the wind. I mean, it works really well. So I'm thinking in summer when it's too hot to wear the rain jacket, the umbrella will be great with my pack cover. So I'm not sure on that yet.
Yeah, I had one too, and I didn't bring mine along. I have not regretted that decision. It's about 8 ounces, so it's half a pound to lug around to use. I mean, really, I think we've been fortunate with rain. I've only put on rain gear twice. Once I didn't put it on and got drenched, but that's beside the point. I mean, in 4 weeks we've put on rain gear twice. Could have put it on 3 times. And same goes for the umbrella. So, you start really judging the value of weight versus what you need. And now, we can't really depend on warmer weather, and probably till we get to Damascus, Virginia. However, right now it's pretty warm, and if it rains and we get wet, it's not that big of a deal. Before, a couple weeks ago when we got wet, it could have really turned into a hypothermic situation, and full rain gear was probably ideal at that point. Okay, so highs and lows of the trail. Terry wants to know. What do you think, Chica?
I'll tell you some lows when we climb high. Anytime we're going up, that is hard for me. That is low for me because I have to take baby steps and I feel like I'm going nowhere. And then sometimes I have to pause, we have to take a break, catch our breath. It just seems to take forever to go uphill for me.
This is true. It's still a challenge going up, and I think it always will be. Here's the high I take away from that is that once you set kind of a barometer, let's say. Let's say that 7.7 miles straight up out of the NOC. That was a challenging day. That was 8 miles of just straight up climbing. Okay, so you get through that, and that's your barometer for any climb after that. For example, we climbed Jacob's Ladder after that, and for me, Jacob's Ladder, because of the NOC climb, was hard. I mean, we were stopping every, I don't know, 50 or 60 steps, and breathing, and then getting up it. But we got up it. It was a mile long. But in my mind, from a mindset,
it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad because we had experienced much worse before. So we're changing. I think that although the climbs are not getting easier, our mindset is changing such that we can absorb them a little bit better.
And our bodies are being trained to go up better. We're doing better.
Absolutely.
And our breathing and cardiovascular is doing better too. We can notice an improvement. So that's positive.
Yep. Other lows, really the only low I can think of is those 7 miles in pouring down rain with the trail being a river.
Well, and it was really cold out.
It was really cold, and we were miserable.
As soon as we stopped, we didn't change clothes because there were too many people in the shelter, and then we started getting really cold, which we learned, we should change clothes into something warm right away because it was really windy, and then we started shivering, and it was pretty miserable. It took us a long time to warm up after we set up our tent and even got into our dry clothes and our sleeping bag and everything. It took us a long time.
Yeah. And for me, the highs are truly the highs, because the reward for climbing those tough, difficult hills are just gorgeous views of the surrounding mountains. Some of these views, the view above Albert Mountain was just incredible. The one at Klingman's Dome was outstanding. Where else?
Well, just seeing flowers and we haven't seen a ton of wildlife yet, but the birds and hearing owls at night. I mean, there's so many highs. I mean, it's beautiful. The trail and the terrain changes all the time. The leaves and it's mossy one second and bare the next. There's tons of highs. The lows are just a few and far between. It is really hard. Our feet are really sore at the end of the day, but that's normal. We know to expect that. So I don't know if we really call that a low because we know that's going to happen. What else? I mean, I think there's tons of highs.
Yeah. Another high, I think, and everybody says this, and we're not super social, but I'll say it anyway, is the people. The people on the trail, 95% of them are just awesome
really
people.
Cool, laid back. I mean, we feel comfortable talking to lots of different people, and we consider ourselves friends with lots of the people now
Yeah.
that we see on a regular basis, which is really cool.
And the support that we've received from friends and acquaintances of ours, that it's just, people we barely know
Yeah,
are just
it's
going out of their way to help us. And, the support from your comments, just saying, hey, you guys are doing great. It really means a lot to us, and it's, it's wonderful.
every single comment like that just bumps us up. It's a huge hit for us. Positive bump, like it just makes us want to keep trucking on.
And we will.
So
Last one. Biggest surprise of trail life.
I don't know if there's been any surprises.
No, we're
We've been
very
pretty-
prepared.
Everything is
From
what we
from
thought from our research.
Yeah, from financials to the way it's going to be to what to expect. Nothing has really surprised us.
I'm surprised that I don't have hiker hunger yet.
Yeah.
We're not like I had a burger today and I can only eat half of it. I'm supposed to eat the whole thing by now.
And then ask me for part of mine.
Yeah.
No, sorry, Terry, but
Yeah.
not many surprises on our end. No.
But it is cool to be out there and to be actually doing it. Like we've dreamed about it and thought about it for so long, and we weren't for sure what it would be like. But now we're here. We're actually on the AT, and it's really cool to be actually out there doing it.
Yeah. So part of trail life, though, this maybe falls in the surprise category, is the rumor mill. You have shelter logs, and you have people talking about other hikers, and so we ran into someone that we hadn't seen since probably week 1 or week 2.
We kind of lost him when we took 3 zeros for the snowstorm in Franklin.
Yeah, and he's like, when we ran back in, oh, I heard you guys were off the trail.
We're like, what?
Who knows how these things get started?
And
but,
someone else said that too. Like they heard a rumor. We're
Yeah.
like, you guys are talking about us?
and part of that is the way that Chica and I have decided to do the trail, which is we really don't communicate at all in shelter logs.
Because we don't stay at shelters.
We don't stay at shelters. We're using tent sites, and after the Smokies, we'll be probably stealth camping. So we're not always in contact with the same people, even though we do run into people at the same time. But so the rumor was, since nobody had seen us or heard from us in a shelter log, that we were off the trail.
Yeah.
Apparently they don't watch our videos. Okay, that's it. I have one more thing to cover, but I'll dismiss Chica.
Okay. I'm dismissed.
And I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Now I can talk about Chica. She's gone. Just kidding. So one of the things when I started this weekly wrap-up series, number one, I thought they would be shorter, but if you don't like it, don't watch it, because they're turning out to be kind of long. But I'm enjoying kind of, Chica takes responsibility for the day-to-day ones. Every once in a while, if I have something to say, I'll jump in there, but I like presenting information that I did not get from other people's videos when they did YouTube videos. And so hopefully this is helping people, and hopefully having a forum for me to answer questions is helpful. But what I wanted to discuss right here at the end is I never discussed with you when I started this how our budget became our budget. I told you the amount we had, which is, hiking the trail and then getting back to Wisconsin, 11 grand. But I didn't tell you how we arrived at that number, and what that means for us. So everybody approaches budgeting or budgeting for the trail in their own way. Some say, okay, this is how much money I have. I'm going to see how far I can go on it. Some people say, okay, I need to be really strict, and I have this much money, and that's how I'm going to do it. So we kind of worked backwards. We said, okay, we want to be able to eat out when we go into town. We want to be able to stay in something other than a hostel if possible, if it's 60 or $70, we'd rather stay in a hotel than to spend $50 in a hostel, because hostels charge by the person, and it's usually 20 or $25. So if it's $50 for a hostel and $70 for a hotel room, we're going to choose the hotel room. So we wanted to budget such that we had a zero a week every 7 days, and for us a zero meant 2 hotel room stays. One the night we rolled into town, and then we'd take the zero the next day, and then spend the next night, and then roll out. We wanted to have money to spend while we were in town, and so that's $100. We have $100 to eat out on our 0 days. Excuse me. There are strategies for those who are trying to really hike the trail cheap. You can resupply through hiker boxes. In Gatlinburg, in Hiawassee, here's a prime example of how our strategy to fit our budget is different than someone who wants to do it on the cheap. Hiawassee, there was a steakhouse that had a $7.50 all-you-could-eat buffet. The day we were there, it was all-you-could-eat ribs. That throws up some red flags to me. All-you-can-eat ribs for $7.50, and the steakhouse did not have an alcohol permit, so it was just soft drinks, which was included in the buffet price. So I don't know how you offset the loss leader of providing all-you-can-eat ribs for $7.50, and not be able to offset that with alcohol sales. So I was a little fishy, a little interested in that, and didn't really trust that buffet, even though it would have been, all I could eat, which I dig. Instead of spending, say, $15, $20 with the tip, Chica and I went to a Mexican restaurant, had a full dinner and a margarita, probably 2 each, and spent, I think, $50. So that's okay with us. That's our preference. If you want to do it cheap, there are so many ways to do it. I am not presenting a budget to you for the person who wants to do it on the down, the cheapest way possible. I am presenting how we want to do it comfortably. So anyway, 11 grand is significant, and I think it works out to a little over $2.25 per person per mile walked. So as our miles pick up, we will average that out a little bit lower and hit our budget, I think. So anyway, I wanted to cover why we chose the budget we chose, and acknowledge that not everybody wants to do it that way. We decided, and this is the benefit of advanced planning. We started working on this about 2 years ago. One of these days I'll do a video on all the things we did to save up the money to do this hike. And none of them meant asking friends or family for money. That we worked and saved every one of these dollars, and now we're hiking the hike that we want to hike, and enjoying the free time in our off time. So anyway, that's it. I have no well, let's just call it an end. It's a long video anyway. I'll ramble on next week. So ciao.